Hey everyone, I just want to come to you this morning and tell you about an opportunity that is before us. I just been thinking lately that it would be good to take a day that is just dedicated to prayer and fasting. And last night I was looking through some things and noticed that the Gospel Coalition was having a day of prayer and fasting tomorrow. And they were hosting that. They were hoping that a lot of people would gather together, and I just couldn't help but think that there are times in the Bible in which we see the people cry out to the Lord, and the Lord hear their prayer. I mean, we saw this in Lamentations when we were reading in chapter 3 about Jeremiah felt like he is in a pit, and he couldn't get out, and the water was filling, and it was about to drown him in this cistern, and he cries out to the Lord, and the Lord hears his prayer and rescues him. We think of the Israelites and in their captivity in Egypt, and they're in slavery, and it's just this difficult experience for them. And we hear that they cry out to the Lord, and the Lord hears their prayers and sends Moses and delivers them through him. So the book of Judges is another example. Over and over in the book of Judges, the people are going through tremendous difficult times, and they are being oppressed, and they can't get out of it on their own, and they need help. So they cry out to the Lord, and the Lord sends a deliverer. He raises up a judge to free them from that oppression. And I guess my prayer is that through this day of fasting and prayer, that we would be drawn closer to the Lord, that the Lord would hear our prayers, that he would deliver our nation and our world from just this virus and the havoc that it's causing. I pray that we would be people who are ready to meet our Maker, are ready to help others during this time. We are people that love one another well. We are ready to share the gospel and take the opportunities that lie before us as the church. The Gospel Coalition has done a wonderful job of putting together a help guide, a program, and they've organized it around the day, just the morning as a time of prayer and reflection alone by yourself. The midday prayer is where you gather together over Zoom or with your family, and you pray and ask the Lord for guidance and help. And then in the evening, there is a program that's on the Gospel Coalition Facebook page and YouTube page that involves a lot of different people: John Piper, David Platt, Jen Wilkin, Joni Eareckson Tada, and a lot of others. And then Gaddy's will lead in some worship, Shane and Shane, and a lot more. So I think that'll be a good program. That's on at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, I believe. So they'll lead. There's a booklet that I'll link to with this video that kind of gives some help to go through the morning and midday and evening prayer section. So I think it'll just be very valuable to you and helpful. I challenge you to take part in that. We see in Scripture that fasting is something that is not commanded of Scripture, of Christians. It isn't something that Christians have to do, but at the same time, it is also something that is very beneficial, and it recognizes our reliance on God, and it's just a moment for us to step back and say, Lord, I'm relying on you. It acknowledges our weakness and God's strength in the midst of whatever we're going through, whether it's a difficult time or it's a decision that we have to make or whatever it is. We desperately seek God's help in those moments. And prayer and fasting are something in worship that are often seen together in Scripture. So this day I would challenge you to spend time in prayer and worship and do this while you take and fast. And how you do that is up to you and what you want to give up and for how long. And to do that, I'll leave that up to you and your own conscience. But I think this is just a day in which we take and we recognize that the Lord is strong. The Lord is sovereign. He is in control. And we feel helpless. We look at our healthcare system and what's potentially coming to that, and we see that this is going to be a difficult thing, and we feel helpless. But we recognize that God is in control of all things. God is not weak, but He is sovereign, and we need to step back and we need to trust in Him and rely on Him. So tomorrow at noon, just challenge you to get together maybe with your family, have a family time of worship, get together with your small group over Zoom, however you want to do that. I'll leave that up to you too. But again, there's a guide to follow and of that. So just want to put that out there for you. So thanks for listening.